here. Welcome. My name is Lucas Mancini. I'm joined by my colleagues Randy Kelly and
Hey, everybody.
Nathaniel. We are here to present to you. Oh my goodness, 14 already. Amazing. Let me just pull up the presentation here while Randy and Nathaniel can do a quick introduction of themselves while I pull up the presentation.
Sure. I'll go ahead. My microphone is on. My name is Randy Kelly, and I'm an assistant registrar in recruitment and admissions at Dalhousie, and we are thrilled to have you with us tonight. We're going to go through a quick presentation. Lucas is our host. He'll be taking you through a presentation, and Nathaniel is our student representative, and he will be doing a bit of an interview and answering some questions for you. So throughout tonight's presentation, if you want to put questions that you have in the Q&A or in the chat, I'll keep an eye on those, and we will try to save some time at the end to answer those questions.
Yeah, thank you for that intro, Randy. As he said, my name is Nathaniel or Nate. I'm a current student here at Dal. I'm in my 4th year of the commerce program. Really glad to talk about Dal today and kind of share some of my experiences.
Thanks, you too. And I'm also an assistant registrar in the Dalhousie Registrar's Office. So if any of you are from Nova Scotia and are wondering about Dal admissions, I'm the person to reach out to. Okay, without further ado, I think most folks are here. So I am going to get this show on the proverbial road. So before we begin officially today, I'd like to acknowledge that our campus is located on Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people, and we are all treaty people. So what makes Dalhousie the right fit for you? Is it the chance to be a part of our diverse and inclusive community, where we embrace a wide range of diverse perspectives and experiences? Or is it the chance to shape your degree from the largest variety of courses in all of Atlantic Canada? Maybe you want to dig into research that's solving global complex issues. No matter what your reason, what you do here will change everything. For over 200 years, Dalhousie has been opening eyes to possibility. Here, you'll put into practice and learn from professors whose research is focused on making the world a better place. You'll soon find out where your ideas can take you. Now to start, I'd like to start with this slide because it gives you a good general overview. I think the numbers tell the most effective story about what Dalhousie entails. Dalhousie is home to just over 20,000 students, with 62% of our students coming in from out of province and 24% of our students being international students from over 115 different countries. At Dalhousie, every day is an opportunity to make your mark, and we're strengthened by the multiple perspectives students bring to our community. With 4,000 courses and over 200 programs, you can build a degree that speaks to your individual goals and prepares you to achieve them when you graduate. We award over $27 million in undergraduate financial awards each year. And speaking of money, during your time at Dalhousie, you'll have access to just over 2,000 individual work term opportunities. And at Dalhousie, we don't do unpaid internships. Those are paid work terms. You'll also have opportunities to engage in hands-on research and with award-winning professors at that. Our students will go on to belong to a wide network of talented and accomplished alumni, to be specific, over 150,000 of them. In case you didn't know, we're located on the Atlantic part of Canada in Nova Scotia, with 2 campuses, one in Halifax and one in Truro. We're known for our distinctly East Coast food, entertainment, history, and culture here in Nova Scotia, and our weather is moderated and influenced by the ocean that surrounds us. Now, I'm going to correct myself here. I said 2 campuses. There's actually a second campus in Halifax as well, our Sexton campus, or colloquially known as our Engineering and Architecture campus, and I'll get into some details about that later on. For now, some background about the city of Halifax. Halifax is a vibrant and coastal urban center of over 450,000 people. 10% of that population, by the way, being other students. It's a university town. It's home to booming financial services and ocean technology sectors. It's a city that's both progressive and laid back. Halifax knows how to achieve the perfect balance of big city flair with a safe and connected community. Our downtown core is a 15-minute walk from campus where you'll have access to urban conveniences while experiencing our bustling and picturesque waterfront, as you can see on this photo. Halifax boasts 5 universities, as I mentioned earlier, so it means you'll be surrounded by like-minded people from around the world. About an hour outside of Halifax is the energetic and growing town of Truro, population of just 12,000 people. It is a hub in Nova Scotia. They say all roads lead to Truro, connecting the campus and surrounding communities to the rest of Atlantic Canada. It's also home to our agricultural campus, which is home to the only on-site teaching farm in all of Canada. And downtown Truro has lots to do, with more than 50 events each year, from festivals to live concerts, movie nights, and more. There's also some very Instagrammable waterfalls there in Victoria Park. Now you know about the greater community at large, but I want to speak to you for a minute about the Dalhousie community. So here at Dalhousie, inclusiveness is a fundamental aspect of the Dalhousie student experience. We're proud to be an inclusive community that works to ensure everyone feels welcome, comfortable, and safe. Part of that is offering a variety of opportunities to connect with other students who share similar backgrounds, interests, and personal circumstances and goals. You can find many of these resources and support services tailored to specific communities. You can see some of them on your screen right now: the Black Student Advising Center, the Indigenous Student Center, and more. Now, one of the things I want to highlight about Dalhousie is it's by far got the most academic variety of any post-secondary institution in Atlantic Canada, with over 4,000 courses, and that includes 200 plus programs and spread amongst 13 different faculties. This is why whenever I'm traveling around visiting schools or talking to students and they ask, what does Dalhousie do best or what sets it apart? I always say it's our academic variety. It's never just one course. It's the ability to be flexible and interdisciplinary with your study. Try different things. There's also some programs listed here that are unique to our region, including architecture, costume studies, community design, environment, sustainability, and society, as well as ocean sciences. Now we're going to get into some of these faculties right now, and then we'll be talking to Nathaniel for a little bit about his student experience. Starting with the faculties, however, we're going to start with the Truro campus with the Faculty of Agriculture. Once again, home to the only on-site teaching farm in Canada. It's got a small campus environment, which allows students the opportunity to build relationships with fellow classmates and professors. And the students on the agricultural campus have full access to all the services Dalhousie offers, with service centers located right on campus. You're going to learn modern-day solutions to today's global issues, like food security, climate change, access to clean water, waste management, all from state-of-the-art facilities, including a working farm, research fields, and animal care facilities, as well as well-equipped laboratories. Students in the Faculty of Agriculture have access to over 30 experiential learning opportunities, including internships, exchanges, and field courses in countries like Ethiopia, South Africa, Scotland, and the Netherlands. I brought this up a little bit earlier, but there's also our School of Architecture and Planning, another unique school for Dalhousie, the only school of architecture in all of Atlantic Canada. And though architecture is a program that requires university level study as a prerequisite, you can start in that faculty right out of high school in our Bachelor of Community Design undergraduate planning program. This direct entry program is professionally accredited and a great preparation for building change in the world as an architect, designer, or planner. The program combines planning and architecture in the same faculty, which aligns with real-world career expectations. This experience is strengthened by the fact that the distinct campus is shared with the Faculty of Engineering. Recent revitalization of the Sexton campus means that students get to work in a brand new studio and fabrication spaces with state-of-the-art tools that explore their ideas. Having a community-focused campus in the heart of downtown Halifax allows students to see firsthand what works and what doesn't in an urban planning and development landscape. Now, one of our broader faculties here at Dalhousie, the Faculty of Arts and Social Science. Faculty of Arts and Social Science offers a world of choices, allowing you the freedom and flexibility to tailor your degree based on your goals. But don't let the size fool you. As you can see from this picture, with a fairly small student to teacher ratio, the faculty hosts some of the smallest first-year classes in all of Dalhousie. Experiential learning opportunities are also available in the faculty. So don't get it twisted, as what I was almost about to say. There's a common misconception that experiential learning, hands-on learning, is only available in faculties like in science, but that's not true. You're able to do some of those experiences in arts and social sciences as well. For instance, field courses, funded research, community service learning projects and placements, apprenticeships, simulations, and more allow you to build on what you're learning in a classroom and develop a job-ready resume. If you're very keen, there's also something called the Coordinated Arts Program. It's an intensive, interdisciplinary first set of carefully planned courses. This program is intended to ease your transition into university and connect you with learning communities, simplifying course selection and challenging you to learn new skills. I'd be remiss if I also didn't mention our Fountain School of Performing Arts, which offers programs in music and theater. And you'll also have access to courses at the University of King's College, located right next door. We'll talk a little bit more about King's College in a moment. Next, we have the Faculty of Computer Science. It's the largest center for computer science education and research in all of Atlantic Canada, with the possibility of earning a degree in computer science or applied computer science. Students will develop deep technical and problem-solving and leadership skills needed to succeed in today's ever-changing tech world. The unique Bachelor of Applied Computer Science, which I mentioned earlier, is separate in that it's a little bit more business focused and helps you develop the skills that meet the industry demand for employees with a strong understanding of technology and business. There's co-op opportunities that there's a vast amount of co-op opportunities in a city with a booming technology sector. This gives you access to local startup incubators, or you could work with global companies like IBM and CGI. Moving on to the Faculty of Engineering, the Faculty of Engineering offers programming on both the Halifax and the Truro campuses. And for some, the Truro campus will be a better spot because it's a great place to study for your first 2 years with a smaller campus environment and a more intimate class setting. Though for others, the dedicated campus located in the heart of downtown Halifax, that's the Sexton campus, is a perfect environment to thrive. With low student to faculty ratios, students are sure to experience collaborative and interactive hands-on learning opportunities, co-op programs that will provide you with work experience, professional mentorship, and a resume that sets you up for real-world success. Remember that? A revitalized Sexton campus means brand new state-of-the-art workshops, prototyping labs, and innovation studios that enhance the educational experience and equip students with the skills they need to succeed. Dalhousie's Bachelor of Engineering degree also offers 7 different disciplines, including chemical, civil, electrical and computer, environmental, industrial, and mechanical and mineral resource engineering. Moving on to the Faculty of Health, it is committed to improving the well-being of individuals, families, communities, and populations through diverse health programming, collaborative research, and strong community partnerships. The most programmatically diverse health faculty in Canada, students are exposed to a broad range of health topics and learning experiences. Professors are known for their leading research, and students will learn from renowned researchers and conduct their own research projects. Our health programs offered unparalleled opportunities for interprofessional education, ensuring that all students graduate with experience working as a part of the collaborative health team. The Collaborative Health Foundation building brings together students from more than 40 different health-related programs at Dalhousie to learn about, from, and with one another. Students are just steps away from the region's top healthcare centers like the IWK, with opportunities to learn close by in a practical setting. Now, if you've been waiting for me to mention business and are businessly inclined, the Faculty of Management, containing the Bachelor of Commerce and the Bachelor of Management degrees, are for you. The Bachelor of Commerce program is one of the few mandatory co-op programs in all of Canada, allowing you to develop valuable skills, gain workplace experience, and build a network of professional contacts, all before you begin your career and while earning a paycheck in the co-op program. Unique in Canada, our Bachelor of Management provides an innovative and interdisciplinary program that combines information management with environmental resource management and public administration and business. Also, the advising in this faculty is particularly good. Our management career services team is dedicated to help you not only with school, but launch your career from building your resume to enhancing your job search. They're here to help you succeed. Now, I want to tell you a quick story. Throughout my travels as a university admissions officer, I have talked to many students, like I was talking about earlier, who demand that I say, what's best about Dalhousie? What's best about Dalhousie? And I say, well, I think it's interdisciplinary education and the opportunity for academic variety. When they're not content with that answer, often when pushed into a corner and forced to give an answer, I will say the Faculty of Science. If you're studying science, Dalhousie is the right place to be. It's got world-class professors and students conducting more than $26 million in research. Students have opportunities to conduct even their own research in laboratory and field through honors or scholarship programs. Since Dalhousie is only steps away from the Atlantic Ocean, ocean sciences and marine biology students in particular get a practical experience working in a marine environment. Dalhousie's integrated science program gives students a well-rounded understanding of a variety of scientific disciplines and how they're linked together. Integrated science is not a degree program, but a foundation building year in the sciences. After finishing DISP or DISP in your first year, you'll join the other Bachelor of Science students in a second year courses and continue through graduation, majoring in a field of your choice. There's also something called first year interest groups or FIGs that offer a mix of tutorials, study groups, and social get-togethers for small groups of students who share similar interests and courses. They allow you to delve deeper into course and lab content and bounce off ideas off one another in a collaborative setting. Earlier, I mentioned the school that's also present on our campus, the University of King's College. It's a small and lively liberal arts university with just under 1,000 students, steps away from our campus, best known for their humanities programs, journalism school, and science and music degrees. King's offers an interdisciplinary approach to their education, and because of the unique partnership between King's and Dalhousie, students have access to a breadth of courses, programs, supports, and activities. Dalhousie students can take King's courses and vice versa. Now, we are going to get to this learn by doing section, but before we do, I think we're going to take a moment here to chat with Nathaniel, and I am going to pull up my regular screen again. Nathaniel, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, amazing. So Nathaniel, we prepared some questions for you today, which I am going to open now because there were some technical difficulties at the start. Just to give some background about your student experience at Dalhousie. And of course, folks, if you're in the chat right now, Nathaniel will also be around to answer your questions at the end of the presentation. Okay, so first off, Nathaniel, why don't you introduce yourself? What was your degree at Dalhousie?
So I'm in the Bachelor of Com with a major in marketing management. Yeah,
and what made you choose Dalhousie as the institution you were going to attend?
I think when it came down to my choice for post-secondary, it really came down to kind of culture as well as place. So I'm from Ontario originally, and when I wanted to go to school, I really wanted to kind of get to one of the coasts. I was either thinking BC or out here. And so after that, I really examined kind of the cultures of each school, and I visited both schools out there and schools over here. And once I kind of really saw campus, talked with some current students and got a feel for the place, I really could see myself being here for the next 4 years and pursuing a degree.
So through that degree, did you have the opportunity to do experiential learning opportunities or experiential learning? Something we've been talking about
Yeah.
kind of ad nauseum throughout this evening.
Yeah, so one great thing about our commerce program, and one of the kind of big reasons why I chose it, is the mandatory co-op programs. So you start kind of co-op terms in your second year in the commerce program, where you have a full term where you go and you work for a company and you get paid the whole time, which is great because it kind of offsets a lot of the costs that are associated with universities. So you really kind of go in between actually working and learning in the office, as well as kind of going back into the classroom and getting more into the theory and other knowledge behind it. And then kind of one thing I want to highlight, this isn't my experience, but my roommate is a fourth year marine biology student. He spent a few weeks over the summer tagging sharks, and he got credit for that towards his degree, which is amazing. I think it's just kind of a really cool thing that we offer here.
No, yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of exemplary of both Dalhousie being a top research school in Canada and our location next to the Atlantic Ocean. So in some cases, we can do research here that just simply isn't possible anywhere else. So that's a great example. What advice would you give? We have a lot of future students in the chat today. If you could, impart any piece of advice that you wish someone had told you when you were first starting out, what would it be?
So this is a big one, and I'm sure you're going to hear it tons of times as you're kind of applying to schools, and people are going, I'm sure your parents are going to tell you this when they drop you off at class as well, is going to be, honestly, join as many societies and clubs as possible. Residence is great because there's all of these people and they all also want to be your friends, but joining a society, you actually have the chance to really join up with other like-minded students, and maybe you're not really a fan of this one, you really kind of get to discover what's at the university, who's there, and maybe a few things that you hadn't thought about kind of coming in. And then you're like, oh, this is actually really fun and I enjoy this. And maybe this could lead to a minor or some new friends or even a whole change of degree, depending on what the society is.
Well, that's a solid piece of advice. And also we're going to be talking about societies in a little bit as part of the presentation. So thank you so much, Nathaniel, and stick around to answer some of these exciting audience questions later on. But without further ado, I think we're going to get back to the presentation. So I am just going to once again share my screen. Bear with me, folks. And here we go. Okay, back into it. So something that Nathaniel brought up and something that we've been talking about all night is learning by doing, experiential learning. What does this mean? Well, it means putting your knowledge and skills you gained in the classroom into practice in a real world setting. So this includes co-ops, which are paid, by the way, internships, practicums, and these are just some of the ways which students gain real world experience, meaning they graduate with experience and skills to set their resume apart from the rest. And these opportunities are available no matter what faculty you're in. 90% of students participating 90% of students at Dalhousie are going to get to participate in some form of experiential learning. Now, one of the ones, again, another example that Nathaniel mentioned is research. We are Canada's only member of the top research universities. We're Atlantic Canada's only member of Canada's group of top research universities and an idea engine for the region. As a student, this means you'll get the opportunity to get involved and take a deep dive into the topics that matter most to you. Our researchers partner with industry, community, and government to solve complex global issues. We're a national and international leader in advanced materials, clean technology, and we have a focus on the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. Now, I know there's a little something called the novel coronavirus going on right now, but keep in mind that university is a 4-year commitment. And though there's travel restrictions in some places right now, that may not be the case for your full 4 years. And once things return more back to normal, they normalize rather, you're going to have the opportunity at Dalhousie for international learning experiences. So you can take your education a step further by learning abroad. Whether you want to spend your summer abroad or want to do a specific exchange through your faculty's department, there's an opportunity for you at Dalhousie. Once you've decided on the type of international experience you'd like to participate in, you can explore your location options with the help of the International Learning Experiences team. We have students participating in exchanges in Sweden and China, field courses in Africa and Belize, and many more opportunities are out there for you to discover. Now that's all fine and dandy, but where are you going to live on campus? Well, there's our residences. Residence is so much more than a bed, a desk, and a Wi-Fi connection. Although these things are important too, our residence communities are supportive, bring students together, and provide a safe and secure place for students living away from home for the first time. We have 11 residence buildings in total, 8 on our Halifax campuses and 3 on our agricultural campus in Truro. And you'll have plenty of options rather, from the more traditional dorm room to a non-traditional apartment style dorm. All are equipped with 24-hour residence life team support and convenient access to campus. The support doesn't stop there, though. No two students are alike, and Dalhousie acknowledges this. The transition to university can be exciting, but at times overwhelming. Navigating resources, meeting new people, and facing new academic challenges that you're not used to are all part of the experience. That being said, our faculty, staff, and students are equipped with the right resources to support you as you make your way through your first year and beyond. You'll find support not only for academics, but for athletics, your physical and mental health, jobs, career, and more. Getting involved on campus is also a great way to ensure your academic success. Research shows that the more involved you are in campus activities, the more likely you are to succeed in your studies. Very reminiscent of something Nathaniel said. Now, I know what you're thinking, okay? Well, how do I know there's going to be a club or society that pertains to my interest? And I'll bite. That's actually literally impossible. You don't believe me? Well, get this. Getting involved on campus will enrich your university experience and help you meet new and exciting people. You can create lasting friendships and possibly gain some new talents or skills along the way, because Dalhousie is home to over 400 different student clubs and societies. And hey, maybe one of those 400 societies isn't of interest to you. Well, I'm still right, because if there's not something of interest to you, you can start your own student club. So therefore, it's actually impossible for them to not be of interest to you, because you can start your own. You'll also have opportunities to volunteer for a cause that's important to you, develop your leadership skills, or de-stress and stay active at our brand new fitness facility, the Dalplex. Speaking of the Dalplex, I think the devil's in the details, so let's get into it. The Dalplex has over 200 pieces of strength training equipment, 70 cardio machines, an indoor running track, a 50-meter indoor swimming pool. There's also 4 multi-purpose fitness studies with group fitness classes, as well as a basketball court, a tennis court, spin study, and more. And as a student, you can access Dalplex for free throughout the school year. If you prefer team sports, you can try out for one of our varsity athletics teams or join one of our many sports clubs. Getting into more detail about the athletics teams, Dalhousie has more than 20 varsity sports teams. The Dalhousie Tigers are in our Halifax campus and compete in the Atlantic University Sport or AUS leagues, while the Rams compete in the Atlantic Collegiate Athletic Association, the ACAA, and those are at the Truro campus. We have both women's and men's teams in basketball, cross country, hockey, soccer, swimming, track and field, volleyball, and more, with our Rams competing in badminton, equestrian, and woodsman sports. Didn't hear your sport of choice mentioned there? Well, we have many options with the club sports. If you are looking to just improve your skills or compete on campus, but in a more relaxed, less competitive and demanding environment like the way the varsity sports are, you have the option to play club sports in baseball, curling, equestrian, field hockey, lacrosse, ringette, rugby, rowing, sailing, ultimate frisbee, and even more. I highly recommend you do this, even if you are really busy with your studies. My little sister is actually a Dalhousie graduate. She completed the radiological technology program in health sciences, which is a really demanding program, but she still found herself time to compete in the women's lacrosse at Dalhousie in the club league. And they actually won the championship in her 4th year. All Dalhousie students get free tickets to home games, so you can go out and cheer on your Tigers and Rams. If you'd like more more information rather on our athletic opportunities, you can fill out the prospective recruit form by visiting daltigers.ca. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dalhousie sounds great, but how am I going to pay for all this? Well, in February, we offer dedicated financing your education information sessions, which are available both online and in person at our Halifax campus. In these sessions, topics include university budgeting, financial literacy, tips and tricks to manage your finances, as well as the scholarship application process. Today, we're going to do a quick overview of cost considerations, options for funding your education, and our entrance award program. So these are some of the things that you're going to want to consider when you're preparing for university. Finances are a major factor that can impact your decision, and expenses can depend on your lifestyle and level of enrollment. The cost of your studies will vary based on a number of factors, including the courses you've selected and how many courses you're taking per semester, your textbooks and your other supplies, your living accommodations and meals, transportation to and from campus, and finally, lifestyle expenses such as entertainment, Wi-Fi, going out, those types of things. The cost of your tuition and other fees will depend on what program you enroll in. You can visit dal.ca/tuition for more information. Now that you know the costs you need to consider, let's take a look at the options that exist to fund your education. In preparing you for university, you'll want to research all available sources of funding and develop a plan to finance your post-secondary education. For most students, money for education tends to come from multiple sources, including scholarships and entrance awards, bursaries, part-time employment and summer employment, student loans, and student lines of credit, which are available from the bank. There's no one right way of funding your education, so you'll have to research what methods will work best for you. One method we're going to get into a little bit deeper today, though, is the entrance awards and scholarships offered from Dalhousie for those entering their first year of study, like you yourselves would be. Most entrance awards require a separate application process. To be eligible for consideration, you must first complete your application to admission for Dalhousie, and then you don't even need to be accepted, by the way, to do this. After you've submitted that application, you can then complete the general entrance award application, and you have to do both of these by March. Even if you don't think you'll receive an award, you should definitely apply anyway, because there's more than 1,400 awards available, and awards are based on different criteria and factors, such as your leadership experience, your academic record, employment, athletics involvement, community service, your financial need for bursary purposes, and your family history. There's also awards specific to your program of study, and if you've studied in an IB or an AP curriculum in school. You also should consider applying for awards and scholarships external to the university. You can find some of those listed on our website at dal.ca/entrance awards. Now, hopefully at this point in the presentation, you're frothing at the mouth with excitement over Dalhousie. You can't wait to apply when the application opens up. You're so excited to do so, but you're wondering how to do so. And I'm going to tell you, don't worry, I'll tell you how to apply. Admission requirements are the first things that you're going to have to consider before you apply. And it depends on a few factors, such as which curriculum you followed in high school, what program you're applying to. Generally, across the board, you're going to need a minimum overall average of 70% in grade 12 English and 4 other academic grade 12 courses. Beyond that, though, it's going to really depend on which program of study you plan to apply to. And you can figure out the specific requirements for your program of choice at dal.ca/high school requirements. Our early admission period starts on October 15th, and that's admission for next September. During this time, you can apply by self-reporting your grade 11 grades and tell us which classes you're planning on taking in your grade 12 year. Many of our programs have competitive entry, which means that meeting the minimum requirements doesn't guarantee admission. If you don't currently meet the requirements, you may be eligible for one of our upgrading or pathway programs. Please don't hesitate to reach out for more information on admission requirements. A little bit more information about the IB curriculum. If you follow the IB curriculum, you must receive a minimum of 26 points and meet the subject requirements for your program of interest. Some higher level courses might be eligible for university credit if you get a score of 5 or higher. Similarly, with AP courses, you must meet the general admission requirements. And some AP courses with a national exam score of 4 or 5 might also be eligible for university credit. You can look up more of this information about IB and IAP students at dal.ca/UG course requirements. Also, for those of you tuning in from Nova Scotia and Ontario, if you are an Ontario student, you can provide your UAC number on the application, and then you no longer are required to submit official transcripts because we're able to download them automatically. Similarly, for Nova Scotia students, if you have your provincial student number or your Nova Scotia student ID, your Power School number, as it's colloquially known, we can have that on file and then download your transcripts as well. So to reiterate, I know that was a lot of information to take in at once, so let's just lay it out step by step. So first step is to, once the application opens on the 15th of October, go to the website dal.ca/apply now. You are going to need to have a program in mind you'd like to apply to, and then you can fill out the application. Though keep in mind, you can actually apply for up to 3 programs. However, you're only going to be assessed for your second and third choices if you weren't admitted to your first choice. Don't forget that you need to fill out a separate application to be considered for entrance awards, and then you'll need to submit your official grade 12 transcripts to the registrar's office unless you are a Nova Scotia or Ontario student. These must come from a school official and must be sent from their school email address. Some programs also require you to submit supporting documentation. For instance, health science is one of these programs where they need supplementary documents. Once you've applied, you can continue to check the status of your application using Dal Online, and when you're admitted, you'll confirm your spot by paying the admission deposit. Here's a timeline of what the rest of the year is going to look like in regards to your journey to applying to Dalhousie. Now, something that's missing from this timeline that I really implore you to not forget is that our open house, our virtual open house, is on November 6th. So if this presentation has left you with some more questions and you're looking to take, a deeper dive on the individual faculties at Dalhousie. Maybe you want to hear from some professors in the Faculty of Science or some students in the Faculty of Commerce, despite Nathaniel, who did a great job. If you want to take a deeper dive on our individual faculties and just generally learn more about the student experience at Dalhousie, I implore you to sign up for our virtual open house coming up on November 6th. Beyond that, the things you need to know about is that the admission and entrance award applications open in October and December, respectively. And if you're planning on applying to a competitive program like those in health science or those in medical science or nursing or vet tech, keep an eye on those deadlines because they take place early in the year, February and March. Moving on to the latter part of next year, the international student application deadline is in April 1st. The entrance award offers are going to go out on April 15th. And from that point on, as you can see, it's a lot of onboarding and getting you ready to join us in the fall. Just to reiterate, if you have further questions after this presentation, first and foremost, we have all of those dates that I just listed. And if you want to be sure that you don't miss any of them, make sure you go to dal.ca/future students and sign up to receive emails from Dal. To support you on your journey to Dalhousie, we offer several in-person and online information sessions and events throughout the year for future students, and we'd love to have you attend. You can also plan to visit one of our campuses either in Halifax or in Truro, and a current Dalhousie student will give you a tour. Tours are offered year-round, and we can customize your visit based on what programs you are interested in. Finally, while you're going through the application process, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We want to help you make the best decision for you. So if you have any questions about the admission process, requirements, residence, or anything else, you can reach out to me or visit dal.ca/connect to find an advisor. And one last time before we get to questions, the open house, November 6th. I think you can go to dal.ca/open house and sign up there. And now we've gotten to questions. I want to thank you again so much for joining me and Nathaniel and Randy today. And now we're going to gladly, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, turn on my camera, and we'll gladly answer some of your questions. So let's take a look what we have here in the Q&A.
Yeah, so thanks, Lucas. We do have a few questions. And before you start, I'll just note that I did put a link to Open House in the chat. If you want to copy that, you can register through that link. And also Lucas's email address and my email address. If you have any questions, like he said, we are more than happy to help you. So we do have some questions, Lucas. The first one is, could you elaborate on the Law, Justice, and Society program?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Law, Justice, and Society program is a major within the Bachelor of Arts. And something that I want to clarify is if you are a student applying to the Bachelor of Arts program, something you should keep in mind is that you don't actually have to declare your major until the end of your first year of study. So a lot of times students will be wrapped up in, oh, I want to apply to DAL for political science. I want to apply to DAL for the Law, Justice, and Society program. At this juncture, really all you need to know is that you're applying to the Bachelor of Arts and Social Sciences faculty or degree program, rather. With that being said, Law, Justice, and Society is a program that's about studying the history of the law and its implications in society. A lot of students who are interested in going into law school later on will pick this as their major because law school requires an undergraduate degree. And though it's not specific about what undergraduate degree it requires, the humanities are always a great option. And if you want to get into law school, which is really competitive, you're going to want to have the best GPA possible. And it just so happens that students who want to get into law school are interested in law, justice, and society. And so they tend to do well in that program because you do well at what you're interested in. And again, if you want other opportunities to talk with more folks from the Faculty of Arts and Social Science, the open house will be a great opportunity to do so.
Thank you. The next one is, if I do my undergrad at another university and do graduate or doctorate at Dal, will I have to take extra courses?
So this is a good question. It really depends. So graduate degrees and doctorate degrees, especially at Dal, have different requirements depending on what the degree program is. I'm an undergraduate advisor, so you definitely are going to want to reach out to an advisor from the kind of master's or graduate degree program that you're looking to apply to ensure that you're getting all your ducks in a row, so to speak. With that being said, if you want to have a sense of if all the courses that you're taking at another institution are transferable to Dal, you can look up our transfer credit calculator. So if you look up Dalhousie transfer credits and go into the transfer credit calculator, if anyone else has ever gone to another institution and then transferred those credits to Dal, they're going to show up there.
Great. And the next person would like to know, where do you apply for the Bachelor of Science?
This is a great question. The same place you apply to every program at Dal, dal.ca/apply. If you're looking right now and not finding it, that's because this is being recorded on October 13th and the application opens up on October 15th. So I appreciate the eagerness, but you're going to have to wait just 48 hours and then you'll be able to apply.
We have a question in the chat that says, can international students apply beginning October 15th as well?
That is correct.
Okay. And we've got lots of good questions. What is the timeline for getting results on your application?
2 to 6 weeks.
The next person would like to know if you could elaborate on what you meant when you said submitting grade 11 marks in the early application period.
Absolutely. So At Dalhousie, from October to January, it's called the early application period. And during this time, we can use your grade 11 marks and the marks that you plan on the classes you plan on taking in grade 12 to predict your performance in grade 12. And during this time, you can actually get admittance to the university. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, because I hear this all the time. Oh, I didn't take grade 11 as seriously. I was really planning on putting my best foot forward in grade 12. Not to worry. We don't reject students based on their grade 11 marks. We never will. If your grade 11 marks aren't up to snuff, we'll simply put your application on hold and say, okay, this looks good. We're going to check back when some more of your grade 12 marks are in, so we have more information to make a more accurate assessment about your academics. That's worst case scenario. Best case scenario is that your grade 11 marks are really good and you're taking all the right classes you need to take in grade 12 and you get early acceptance into the university. So it's always in your best interest to apply early during the early admissions period, because the worst case scenario isn't that you'd be rejected. It's just that we have to wait until we have a few more marks from you to make a decision. This is always in your interest because it's good to get started on, filling in your application, filling in the entrance award application, and getting the ball rolling with all the processes that are involved in applying to the university. So it's always in your best interest to apply early during the early admissions period, whether you believe in your grade 11 marks or not.
Thank you. I'm not sure if Nate lived on campus or not. If he did, maybe he could answer the next question. It says, how do the meal plans work?
Yeah, so I did live on campus in my first year in residence. And the meal plans at Dal, I think, have a really great system. It's all kind of tap based. So whenever you're hungry, you head down to the meal hall that's in your residence. You tap in, and that's going to be one tap. So you can go tap, grab an apple, and leave. Tap out, you're all set. Go in, tap, stay for 3 hours, eat, study the whole time, and leave again, and that still counts for one tap. So you can choose unlimited. I believe there's a 20 option as well as a 14 option. So it's all about kind of how many times rather than how much food you eat, which I think is a really good system.
I'd spend many hours in there, I suppose, if the food was good, which I hear that it is.
Yeah, Sheriff Hall especially, best meal hall on campus.
For insider tip right there, Sheriff Hall is the best.
I'll also add to what Nathaniel said in that you have opportunities to get different types of meal plans depending on how many times you want to eat per week. So if you sign up for, the plan that has 3 meals a week, which I think is the most limited one you can sign up for, or there's the unlimited meal plan where you can be in there tapping all day and night. So you have a lot of flexibility. There's a spectrum within those two ends.
Great. Quite a variety of diets, I think, are served as well, are they not?
That's true. Halal, vegetarian, everything you can think of.
Great. From the chat, we have 2 questions. Do you allow students to defer acceptance? And also, are there any opportunities for waiving application? I don't know if that means waiving the application fee or perhaps speeding up the process. I'm not sure which that refers to, but.
Well, I'm glad someone mentioned speeding up the process, because I should add that if you attend the Dalhousie open house, it actually puts you in the front of the queue in terms of getting your application assessed. So I'll answer that. We don't waive the application fee under any circumstances, but you will be assessed you'll be in the first pool assessed if you attend the open house. And even if you apply before the open house, if you attend after and you still haven't gotten your assessment, we'll know that you attended open house and you can go to the front of the list. In regards to deferrals, you can defer for 1 year. But then you either have to attend or you can't defer a second year after that. So you either defer for 1 year and then start after that year, or you might have to reapply.
Great. From our Q&A, we have a current high school student in Ontario, and they are wondering about early admission. They don't get their UAC pin until mid-November. So does that mean if we apply before then, we'd have to submit our marks ourselves?
Well, I love how keen you are. For this, there's basically 2 options for you. Conceivably, you could provide your grade 11 marks from last year and you could get your transcripts in the way everybody else would. Like if you were in a province that wasn't Ontario, Nova Scotia, by having a guidance counselor from your school send them over. You can also self-report your grades during the early admissions period. Or you can fill out the application, and something to keep in mind when you're filling out an application on Dalhousie is, I think students have this idea that, they put all the information together, they seal it up, they send it off, and then it's immovable from that point. It's like set in stone. But in reality, when you file an application with us, it's like we're opening up a file on you. And a file is something that can be amended and added to and changed over time. So you can apply and then, add your UAC pin later on, either by emailing us or contacting one of us. And then we can add it to the application so that when your grades are available, we'll be able to download your grades automatically.
Great. And the next person wants to know about research opportunities for first-year students in the Faculty of Science.
So for first-year students, the best way to participate in research is to join the Integrated Science Program, or DISP, the Dalhousie Integrated Science Program. Usually, most students don't have the opportunity to get involved in research until I think their second year of study, but the exception to that is if you're in the Integrated Science Program, which has slightly different requirements than starting in science regularly. I think you need more science courses at the you need more science courses at the grade 12 level as a prerequisite. If you want to know more specifics about DISP, please feel free to send me an email at lucas.mancini@dal.ca.
Okay, we're doing really well. We've got some great questions here. We've got about 8 minutes left. Some really good questions. Here's one. Do you have to take 5 courses per semester, or can you take 4 and maybe 1 in the spring summer semester?
Excellent question. So a full-time student at Dalhousie is someone who's taking 3 courses or more in a semester. So this is one of the benefits of university at large, but especially Dalhousie, is the flexibility that you're afforded. You don't have to take 5 courses a semester. You could take 4, you could take 3 and then 2 in the summer. You could take 6 in a semester if you apply to, there's a form you can fill out to take above the limit and then, have a lighter next term. So you have a lot of flexibility when it comes to stuff like that.
Very true. Next question. What's the difference between computer science and applied computer science?
I touched on that a little bit during the presentation, and you'll be able to hear a little bit more about that if you go to the open house on November 6th. There's a bunch of stuff planned for the computer science faculty, and they'll really be able to get into the nitty-gritty of the differences. But in reality, I think applied computer science has a little bit more of a business focus. So putting in computer science, programming, those types of things into the context of working in a business and serving those needs.
Right. And a question about the exchange programs. Do your courses transfer over, or do you have to repeat them?
Your courses transfer over.
Absolutely. Next person wants to know if they can apply directly to biochemistry, or do they have to wait 1 year or do 1 year of science rather before applying to the program?
So biochemistry, again, is a major within the science program. So you'd be applying to science. And keep in mind, I said you don't have to declare your major till the end of your first year study. There's flexibility with even that. I believe even extra keen students can declare major even earlier in the year. You definitely can't in the first semester. But keep in mind, if you already know that you want to go into biochemistry, when you're picking your courses for first semester, you can pick them based on intended major. So we have what's called course planning worksheets when you're picking your courses, and they lay out all the majors in science, and they say, hey, if you're planning on going into biochemistry, you should probably pick these courses for your first semester. So even though you're still not technically a student in the biochemistry major at that point, you're working towards it. This is a really long answer to answer this really simple question, which is that right now you are applying to the science faculty, and then you'll declare your major as biochemistry later on.
Very true. My daughter is a biochem student, and she did first year science where she focused on biology and chemistry, and then she declared her major. So you're absolutely right. We have a question about varsity sports that this person would like to know. Is there only varsity basketball, like only varsity for basketball, or are there also club teams or recreational
Now
teams?
I'm talking out of turn here because I'm not certain, but I'm fairly sure that there's club basketball as well as varsity basketball. Nathaniel, do you know, is there basketball at the club level as well?
I'm not sure about the club level, but we do have intramural basketball, where if you're not
Yeah.
looking for that kind of competitive
Hmm.
level, you can play just within Dalhousie against other teams of Dalhousie students.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I know that, again, I'll use my daughter as an example. She's playing volleyball recreationally, and even within the recreational league, there's semi-competitive and competitive. So there are many different levels of sports and athletics that you can do. Next question says, when going through transcripts, do you use the highest level 30 courses? So for generating averages.
Yes. So this is a good question. And for those, because not everywhere has level 30 courses, that's a very province-specific term. But basically, to put it in kind of a universal parlance, we will look at the grade 12 courses that are academic. And we first, look at the ones that are required for your degree, for the program you're applying to. So I'll use science as an example. Science requires English 12 and pre-calculus 12. So those are the two, and then we have 3 additional courses we need to choose. We will pick the ones that you have the best grades in if they're academic. So we always try and pick those courses out of your kind of 5 courses in the student's favor. So for instance, let's say you were taking English 12, pre-calculus 12, biology, chemistry, physics, and history. And you bombed history, we're going to use the biology, the chemistry, and the physics instead of the history because you have a higher grade in them.
Right. How is open house different from a campus tour? That's a timely question.
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So a campus tour is you just kind of walk around campus. Well, it's not just, but you get an opportunity to walk around campus with a campus tour guide, and they show you around the university. Open house is an opportunity to hear from faculty members. It's an opportunity to hear from current students. It's an opportunity to get a taste of what the Dalhousie experience has to offer. Go to what are essentially lectures from professors. It's a good, it's a great way to basically get a sense of what classes are actually like. Whereas in a campus tour, you're really getting a sense for the campus and the facilities and maybe a little bit of the school culture, where in the open house, you're getting a lot of the school culture and also kind of the nitty gritty of, if you're trying to balance, oh, do I want to go into this program or go into that program? The open house is a great opportunity to kind of see what the programs really entail and what their differences may be.
Good. I think maybe we have time for one more question. The next question says, do you look at weighted or unweighted GPA? And I'll just mention while Lucas
Do
is
you know
drinking.
this one, Randy? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't either. I think perhaps this is a United States specific question.
I will tell you what, if the person who asked this question wants to send me an email, I know the answer exists and I can absolutely get it to you. I just don't think I know it off the top of my head.
And that's a perfect segue into what I was about to say. Like, if we are running out of time and we don't get to your question, feel free to email either Lucas or myself, and we will get the answer for you. So what do you think, Lucas? Shall we continue with another, or are we out of time?
I think we're just about out of time, folks. Amazing questions. Thank you for sticking around for the whole presentation. Apologies if there was any technical difficulties at the start. I'm having troubles with my Zoom, but thank you so much, folks. And I want to especially thank you, Nathaniel and Randy, for Nathaniel giving us your great insight, and Randy facilitating those questions. So thanks, everybody. I hope to see you all at the virtual open house, and thanks again for attending the session.
All right, thank you, Lucas. Somebody's asking us to repeat our email. It's lucas.mancini@dal.ca or randy.kelly@dal.ca. You can see us at dal.ca/connect is the easiest way to find us, I believe. Sorry, just threw that in.
Bye, everyone.
All right, see you.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.